Hello, my name is Linda McAnany, and welcome to my show. My guests today are leaders of the Jefferson City Area Chamber of Commerce. Randy Allen is the president, CPO, and Janet Wechenborg is the 2017 board chair. Welcome. Thanks for taking time to join me. How did I go back? We were talking about the early days, but those were really early days, weren't they? Anyway, it's good to have you, and thanks for joining us. First of all, I want to tell both of you congratulations. Randy, you were selected as one of the 50 Missourians you should know by Ingram's, which is a Kansas City business journal, and that's a very nice honor, and well received and well deserved, by the way. And Janet, you were featured in Inside Business in JCMO as one of 16 of 16, I believe. Right. And so those are nice honors because they're leadership honors, and they show how well you are thought of not only in our community but the expanded community as well. So, and Janet, I know you're with Capital Region Medical Center as the Vice President of Operations. So you've got a lot on your plate these days.
It is a fun time to be in healthcare.
No, yes, we were just talking about that. Janet, I'm going to go right to the recent issue of Chamber Today. You talked about empowerment with regards to accomplishing the mission of the Chamber. I was fascinated by that. Tell us more about your thoughts.
So if you think about, years ago there was a commercial on TV, and it was a company that says, we don't do blank, we blank better. And I think that's a little bit of what the Chamber does. We're not in the business of being a business, we're in the business of making business better. We have a broad scope on our vision and the mission as it's labeled on the wall, but one of the things that we want to do is to help our members succeed. So the plans that they have, the direction that they want to go, the needs that they have are of interest to us. And our job is to listen to that, to look at that across the continuum of services, of direct sales, or perhaps it's in the service industry, the IT area, healthcare, contractors, state government, and look at what they need, start to find those trends, and then begin a plan to help those businesses be empowered to do what they want to accomplish. And that's really what the Chamber is all about. And that combines our two goals of being a good steward of business in the Chamber, but also being a good steward in the economic development world.
Well, the other thing I thought was fascinating about what you said is sometimes we as citizens of this community, of mid-Missouri as well, forget everything that we are blessed with. Being the capital, being on a river, and you mentioned that in the article as well, didn't you?
Right, and it's sometimes we take things that we're blessed with for granted, and I believe that that's true when you look at Jefferson City and the surrounding areas. So every day, Jefferson City swells from a population of mid 40,000 people, and we go to 80,000+ people. That's a lot of people coming to town that might have lunch, that might stop and buy groceries, that buy their gas here, they get their health care here, they seek out other professional services here, be that an attorney or an accountant, etc. So Jefferson City really has the benefits of an expanded territory of city, if you will. So it's really the Jefferson City Area Chamber of Commerce because we have so many people that live in our outside communities who actually work and receive their income from a job located within the city. In addition to that, so we have that population of workforce. Then we have this river that runs past us, and sometimes we drive over it, and last summer we all enjoyed the bridge being down, and we were like, oh, this bridge. But quite frankly, it links us to Columbia, it links us to the next major highway, which is 70, so we've got 50 running right through our city. Then we have Highway 70 not that far away with a good corridor of connection. So we have a couple of opportunities there that we should take advantage of. As you said, we are the state capital. And with that comes the opportunity to partner with the state on projects that we couldn't partner with them if we didn't live right here. So I think you'll hear a little bit more about those projects coming up. We've got several in the pipeline and actually getting some real favorable nods from the state on a couple of projects. So we're real excited about that.
And you know, I think it's a good reflection of what you just said to remind us all that we are very fortunate to live where we do, whether it's in the city boundaries or in the surrounding area because of all these amenities. So that's fun. Randy, last fall the Chamber conducted a workforce study, I believe. This was done as a result of feedback from Chamber members. What was learned from this study?
Well, as you said, the thing that started all of that was our members were saying we're having a hard time finding workforce. So we wanted to quantify that, and we tell consultants and people that look at our community for business that we have plenty of employees, and we cite the fact that people come from miles around. But we wanted to actually have somebody look at that and either verify that or tell us we were crazy. And so, in fact, the study was done last spring, and it in fact told us that folks were willing to drive up to about 45 minutes for the right kind of a job, and in fact, people were doing that. And so we kind of verified what we already knew, and then they also pointed to a lot of underemployment that we have. So people, that may have been laid off or that some business closed in the past several years, maybe took a lesser job, and so there's some potential there for growth of employment. So it did what we wanted to do, which was to verify what we probably already knew, was that we have a workforce that comes from a substantial area. And I think they looked at, 8.5 counties maybe? Southern Boone County, but really the contiguous counties around. And it was very telling.
It's interesting because if I remember, a couple of the statistics or the comments that were made also talked about the educational degrees, whether or not, we all kind of take the approach, we want to have increased education, obviously, but there were some needs for not 4-year degrees, but for educated individuals who were looking for opportunities to expand their knowledge and their abilities.
Yeah, one of the things we learned in kind of this whole process was there's a substantial amount of high school graduates in our area that did not go on to either a 2-year, a 4-year, the military, or some technical school. So they were out in the world trying to find employment. And having a hard time connecting with folks like Alpla or Command Web, or folks that want to hire those really good people to do the work at their plants and don't need the level of higher education or a degree that some others might.
Yeah, don't need a 4-year or expanded degree beyond that. And a lot of those companies are looking for good people, obviously.
Absolutely.
And those people exist, but they may not be at the level or having the educational level that requiring the educational
right,
level.
And Janet's working, pretty heavily with this workforce task force, which is trying to take that to the next level.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity. By the way, I encourage you all, if you want additional information about the Chamber, you can call 573-634-3616, or you can visit their website, www.jeffersoncitychamber.org. And by the way, there's some wonderful statistics and wonderful information on that website. I encourage you to go in and take a look at it. Was there any consistent themes that came out of that information last fall that just really come to mind?
Janet?
I would number one echo the fact that the businesses that are located in the Jefferson City area depend on workforce that comes not just from within the city limits, but from a driving distance of up to 45 minutes. So because of our topography, that doesn't mean it's a nice even circle. You have to look at highway access. You can drive out Highway 54 a lot faster than you can go down Route B towards Tomita, St. Thomas, in that area. So what they did is they really had to take a look at the distance of driving, and so that 45-minute mark is kind of a thing that I think really resonated with those of us who are looking at where do we begin to reach out to high school students.
Right.
And that was the other recurring theme, is that there were a number of jobs, a number of positions, and a number of companies who are incredibly interested in recruiting a high school educated person who wants to enhance their skills and develop a career with a company, because they have so much on-the-job training, the amount of technology that some of these companies have, and are willing to train their high school graduates into becoming those folks who are the key elements of that production.
Yeah, that's great.
It's really interesting.
45 minutes is not that long, let's face it. It doesn't take that long to drive back and forth to work. So that's a wonderful opportunity to have an area around us with wonderful new employees as well.
Right.
We're going to take a break right now. When we come back, we're going to talk about some of the additional things that are going on with the Chamber right now. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Family Counseling Center of Missouri offers a number of therapeutic and psychiatric services at 204 Metro Drive. Our mission is to improve the quality of life for individuals, families, and communities by helping people make positive changes in their lives and empowering them to make healthy and effective choices. Our focus is building healthier lives together. Call 573-634-4591 or visit us online at info@fccmo.org. FCC is proud to be a Compass Health organization and a United Way partner agency.
Hi, I'm Donna Scheidt with the Jefferson City Daycare Center. The Jefferson City Daycare Center is a licensed daycare with an accredited early childhood education program. We care for up to 99 children ages birth to 8, primarily from low and middle income families. The Jefferson City Daycare Center, providing quality early childhood education services in a caring environment. We're proud to be a United Way partner agency. Find us online at www.jcdcc.org and like us on Facebook.
Welcome back, and thanks for staying with us. My guests today are Randy Allen with the Chamber and Janet Wechenborg, who is the 2017 board chair. So thank you all again for taking time. You know, it's interesting because there's so much going on with the Chamber right now that I find fascinating, and I enjoy being a volunteer on some of this initiative. But there's a group of volunteers led by Darren Heckman that's focusing on Chamber membership, including recruitment, retention, the benefits. First of all, was this a part of the feedback that we got last fall?
Absolutely, and so it came from the visits to the individual Chamber members, and we know that we're struggling a little bit, as all associations are, with membership. The new generations don't look at membership in our kind of organization like baby boomers did. So we've got got to retool, and part of it is, instead of having a membership drive, we are doing an ongoing membership recruitment effort. We got a really good committee on that, and then looking at retention, because, as you say, if you have a member, why would you want to lose a member and then turn around and recruit a member? So we want to keep the members that we recruit. And then part of that, obviously, is looking at the benefits, looking at what Chamber membership does for individual businesses and individuals. So, all of that wrapped together, and really we have some great volunteers, and they're moving forward with their initiatives this year.
Well, and I think it's a good reminder, not only to potential members, but to current members. We talked about that earlier. Anytime you do some volunteering with the Chamber, you learn something, or at least I have. And by the way, I've been a Chamber member for, a long time.
Don't say.
We don't know exactly how long, but I was 5 years old, I think, when I joined, or something like that. But anyway, it's a wonderful learning opportunity, and I look to you as the audience and encourage you, if you're not a member of the Chamber, look into it, number one, and number two, if you are, look for opportunities to volunteer, because it's a lot of fun, as well as a very good learning experience. And this is a good time to, again, if you have questions about the Chamber, call 634-3616, or again, you can visit their website, which is jeffersoncitychamber.org. A lot of good information. So it's a fun initiative. I know those groups that you mentioned are just beginning to meet. Some of them have met a couple of times. Right. But I think there'll be a lot of good information coming out, because there's a lot of good, as you say, a lot of good volunteers.
And you know what? Those groups, they work hard and play hard. They have a good time doing it, and you know that's part of the formula.
That's right. It's really not work. It's fun. A little bit of work involved, maybe. The chamber contracts with the city and also with the county on economic development services. Janet, as board chair, I know you are leading many of these efforts with regards to opportunities. Tell us about this arrangement and the benefits both to the city and the county and obviously to the chamber.
So this is not a new arrangement. The city and the county and the chamber have been working together for a number of years on a combined effort to bring economic development, to bring new initiatives, new opportunities here to Jefferson City. I think it's a wonderful way to actually do this project. When you look at economic development, you want to look at it as though we are a team and the folks who are coming to Jefferson City are going to be working with this team. So it really establishes a structure that from the beginning of an encounter with a company who might be inquiring about locating here or about expanding their business here, we can speak with one voice. And the city and the county have been really great about allowing the staff members, Missy Bono and Sean Stappenfield, who actually reach out to companies, existing companies who work with some of the new companies that contact us, but also to listen to what we bring to the table and say, this is the type of inquiries we're getting, this is the type of interest that we have, and they're listening because it gives them a little bit of a heads up as to what we might be coming back to work with them on. It may be that a company that's locating here is going to need additional road infrastructure, or they're going to need an additional stoplight in order for their trucks to pull on or off the highway or off of a particular road or street intersection. It's a heads up for them, and I think that's really good. In today's world, most businesses, when they relocate or when they locate in a community, there are some tax incentives that are allowed and are given to them to try and entice them to bring their jobs and those dollars into the community. Randy and his staff have been awesome at looking at what is the potential number of jobs that are coming, you know, what type of revenue does that put into our local economy, what's that add, how does that add to our tax base? And it's given us some feedback and some information that I think the city and the county can use when they look at any tax abatements that they may want to do. Tax abatements have been around for years and years and years, and I think we're just maybe starting to grasp the importance of that to the expanding business or to the business who's new to Jefferson City. And we find that it's a common language, a common ground that we need to be consistent together on. So when they come, we're a package deal. They don't have to go to the city and then go to the county and then we're negotiating in between. We're doing that as a unit. And I think that makes it a lot easier for the company.
Absolutely, and it's very efficient when you have one organization doing it rather than, you know, the city trying to do it, the county trying to do it, and so it's much more efficient. What do you add to that? I know that's an important part as you see the mission of the chamber.
Yeah, and so many communities have different models on how economic development is facilitated. We believe this is the best one for us here, and the city and the county, obviously, they could do it on their own, but they don't bring the private sector resources to this as well. So it really is a public-private partnership. As Janet said, it's very efficient. We have shown the city and county that the effort that we make, the time that we spend, the resources that we put into it is very effective for them. One of the things we always talk about, people don't really know it, is the chamber has spent about $4 million over the last 10 years developing the industrial, the physical facilities, the utilities at the industrial park for the benefit of recruitment. And you know, we have brought several companies to the community because of that. But again, $4 million of its own resources to help facilitate that. You know, and that began in the 1940s. All the businesses along Industrial Drive that came to Jefferson City were facilitated and were grown from the Chamber of Commerce effort. So we just want to continue that.
Yeah. 1940s, of course, none of us remember that. I didn't realize, though, $4 million over the last, how many?
10 years.
10 years, and that is a wonderful expansion of our community.
Absolutely.
And learning opportunity
Right.
for all of us.
Right, absolutely.
Where do you see us going? What's the next step? Obviously, we're going to have a lot of good information as these volunteers get together and look at the opportunities. Do you see this as part of an additional process?
Well, sure. I mean, and both from a membership side and economic development side, I mean, the things are changing. Things aren't the same.
Yeah.
And we all know that. Anecdotally, we know that, but we don't want to believe that things are changing because change is hard. And so one of the things that the Chamber has to do continually is look at its membership, what its membership wants, as well as how business is done, how employees are trained, how workforce is acquired, and all of that, because as we all know, jobs are the most important thing for your community. What we really look at the return on investment that the city and county and the community gets as how many wages are paid in our county. And so wages equals economic development, because we buy things, that money turns around, but without wages, you don't have an economy.
That's right. And actually, the approach you're taking, the approach the Chamber is taking with its volunteers and its staff is much like a business would, and that's looking down the road and saying, okay, what changes are happening? Where are we going to look like in 5 or 10 years? And that's just a good way of expanding and growing.
We're also taking advantage of Janet's expertise. I mean, she's in the healthcare business. How much change is there in that every day?
Wow, I know.
And so she really looks toward the future, how change affects us, and so she's been very, very helpful in that.
Yeah, and she articulates it very well as well.
I believe that's true.
I think that's wonderful. Well, listen, I really appreciate the time that you all have taken to be here. I know in both your cases you've had busy weeks, busy days that amount to busy weeks, and it's just a wonderful opportunity for me to chat with the leaders who are looking at our community and say, how can we continue to make it better? And we're very fortunate to have you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. We look forward to seeing you next time. Good night and God bless.